up in Adelaide, you never really notice the little things. The rattle of trams through the city, the smell of fresh coffee drifting out of the Central Market, long summer evenings by the beach, and quiet suburban streets that somehow always felt familiar. When you're young, it's just home, ordinary, everyday life. But after moving away and spending years elsewhere, coming back feels different. The streets seem smaller, the memories feel bigger, and suddenly the things you once overlooked become the things you remember most. A trip back to Adelaide isn't just about revisiting a city. It is about reconnecting with a place that helped shape who I am. And there is no better place to start than with the Adelaide Central Market. The market has been feeding Adelaide since 1869, surviving everything from economic depressions and world wars to changing food fashions and the rise of supermarkets. In the early days, farmers travelled into the city by horse and cart, sometimes camping overnight so they could secure a good trading position before dawn. During the post-war migration boom, the market became a meeting place for newly arrived European families. Many migrants introduced Adelaide to foods that were once considered exotic: olives, salami, espresso coffee, anchovies, fresh pasta, and specialty cheeses. Some family businesses have traded in the market for generations, with children growing up doing homework behind counters. Market folklore says the loudest traders usually sold the most produce. Even today, some sellers still call out bargains in the old-style market tradition. For many locals, a visit to the market is less about shopping and more about ritual. Coffee first, then bread, then produce, followed by lunch, before finally heading home hours later. Veteran traders often claim they can tell the season simply by the smell of the market. Citrus in winter, stone fruit in summer, chestnuts in autumn, and fresh herbs in spring. The market is sometimes described as Adelaide's living pantry, reflecting the multicultural identity of South Australia through food. The Adelaide Central Market also helped shape the nearby area into Adelaide's best-known food strip. Many nearby restaurants still shop there daily for fresh ingredients. Celebrity chefs visiting South Australia often head straight to the market, partly for ingredients, and partly for the atmosphere. The shouting traders, crowded aisles, and smell of coffee and fresh bread. Another favourite place to visit in Adelaide while growing up was the Adelaide Arcade. Opened in 1885, the arcade quickly became one of Adelaide's grand shopping destinations during a time when indoor arcades represented elegance, wealth, and modern city life. In the late 19th century, visiting the arcade was considered a social occasion as much as a shopping trip. People dressed formally just to stroll through its corridors, admire the window displays, and be seen in fashionable company. One of its most recognisable features is the glass roof overhead, designed to flood the interior with natural light long before fluorescent lighting existed. Sitting alongside Adelaide Arcade is the smaller Gaze Arcade. Opened in the late 19th century, the arcade was named after its original owner and not as a reference to modern usage of the word. Even so, generations of Adelaide school kids have giggled at the sign while passing through the city. Photographers and filmmakers are drawn to the arcade because almost every angle feels cinematic. Sunlight spills through the arcade's historic interior, illuminating ornate balconies, intricate iron lacework, and fading vintage shop signs that together evoke the quiet elegance of Adelaide's past. Adelaide Arcade has long attracted collectors and hobbyists. For decades, people visited searching for rare books, jewellery, comics, records, stamps, and handcrafted items you couldn't easily find elsewhere. The contrast between Adelaide Arcade and modern Rundle Mall tells part of Adelaide's story. Old-world craftsmanship beside fast-moving modern retail culture. Installed in 1977, the polished steel sculpture officially titled Spheres quickly became one of Adelaide's most recognisable landmarks. Locals almost immediately gave it the far less formal nickname, the Mall's Balls. And this quickly evolved into Adelaide's unofficial meeting point. It would be very common for someone to say, "Meet you at the Balls." Established in 1856, the museum is one of Australia's oldest scientific and cultural institutions, growing alongside the young colony of Adelaide itself. In the 19th century, museums like this were viewed almost as public theatres of science and discovery. Visitors came not only to learn, but to marvel at strange animals, fossils, minerals, and objects from distant places. The building itself reflects old Adelaide's confidence during the colonial era. Grand sandstone architecture designed to show that the young city valued science, education, and culture. The Pacific Cultures Gallery is filled with towering ceremonial masks, carved canoes, weapons, textiles, and sculptures. This gallery feels almost cinematic, like stepping into another world of ocean voyages and island traditions. The displays tell stories of navigation, trade, spirituality, and survival across some of the most isolated islands on Earth. The gallery reflects Adelaide's historical role as a scientific and exploration hub during the 19th century, when expeditions returned with artifacts from across the Pacific region. Some visitors remember being fascinated, or slightly frightened, by the enormous carved figures and ritual masks as children. Aboriginal Cultures Gallery, often considered the emotional and cultural heart of the museum. This gallery contains one of the world's most significant collections of Aboriginal artifacts and cultural material. Visitors are often struck not just by the age of the objects, but by the sense of continuity. Tools, shields, baskets, carvings, and artworks representing cultures that have survived for tens of thousands of years. Many visitors describe the gallery as deeply quiet and reflective, with dim lighting and carefully presented objects encouraging people to slow down and absorb the stories behind them. Biodiversity Gallery, filled with preserved animals, insects, birds, and marine life. This exhibit became many children's first close encounter with Australian wildlife from beyond their local suburbs. Before nature documentaries became common, this gallery introduced generations of South Australians to creatures they might never otherwise see. Some visitors find the gallery nostalgic, remembering school excursions where students rushed between cabinets pointing excitedly at snakes, sharks, spiders, and strange deep-sea fish. The exhibit quietly documents both Australia's incredible biodiversity and the fragility of species affected by habitat loss and extinction. the Egyptian Room. Though smaller than the grand Egyptian collections overseas, this exhibit fascinated generations of visitors with its mummies, artifacts, and symbols from the ancient world. For many children growing up in Adelaide, this room was their first glimpse into ancient civilizations beyond Australia. The combination of dim lighting, sarcophagi, and preserved artifacts gave the gallery an almost mythical atmosphere. School students often emerged from the exhibit suddenly obsessed with hieroglyphics, pyramids, and stories of pharaohs. Minerals and Meteorites Gallery. One of the museum's most visually striking spaces, the Minerals Gallery glows with crystals, gemstones, opals, and meteorites collected from across Australia and beyond. Under the lights, some mineral displays almost appear artificial. Electric blues, deep reds, and gold reflections sparkling from inside glass cabinets. South Australia's strong mining history is woven through the exhibit, linking the state's identity to copper, opals, uranium, and desert mining towns. What visitors see publicly is only a fraction of the museum's holdings. Behind closed doors are millions of specimens, artifacts, documents, and research items stored in archives and climate-controlled rooms. Museum staff sometimes describe the unseen collections as a hidden city beneath the galleries, shelves of preserved animals, fossils, cultural material, and scientific discoveries rarely viewed by the public. The whale skeletons at the main entrance of the museum are perhaps the most iconic part of the museum. Many Adelaide locals can vividly remember their first moment walking through the entrance and looking upward in awe. Parents often watch their children react exactly the same way they once did decades earlier. Hidden behind the busy cultural boulevard of North Terrace, the Adelaide Botanic Garden feels like a sudden shift in pace. Traffic noise fades, gravel crunches underfoot, and towering trees soften the edges of the city. Officially opened in 1857, the gardens were created during a time when colonial cities saw botanical gardens as symbols of knowledge, science, prestige, and optimism about the future. Early curators treated the gardens almost like a living laboratory, experimenting with plants from across the world to see what might survive South Australia's harsh climate. In the 19th century, newly arrived migrants visited the gardens, not just for recreation, but to encounter familiar plants and trees from Europe and other parts of the world that reminded them of home. Many of the enormous trees lining the pathways today were planted more than a century ago, meaning visitors walk beneath living history every day. Early directors of the garden battled not only heat and drought, but also mischievous visitors. Historical records describe people picking flowers, carving names into trees, walking on lawns, and even stealing plants to take home. One former director reportedly became so frustrated with unruly behaviour that detectives were employed to patrol the gardens during the late 1800s. In the Victorian era, some of the garden's rules now seem strangely formal. Smoking was discouraged, visitors were expected to behave with strict decorum, and gentlemen wearing flowers in their buttonholes were once viewed suspiciously because staff feared they had stolen blooms from the garden itself. Bicentennial Conservatory, with its enormous, curved glass structure, once symbolised Adelaide's vision of a modern future when it opened in 1989. The conservatory houses tropical rainforest plants from Northern Australia and Southeast Asia. Stepping inside creates an immediate sensory shift. The dry Adelaide air disappears, replaced by warm humidity, dense greenery, dripping water, and the earthy smell of rainforest vegetation. Many first-time visitors instinctively slow down once inside, partly because of the heat and humidity, but also because the space feels strangely separate from a city outside. The Moreton Bay fig trees are among the garden's most dramatic features, with sprawling roots and enormous branches that make them feel ancient and almost mythological. Long before cafes became common throughout the city, people packed elaborate picnics and spent entire afternoons wandering the grounds with tea baskets and folding chairs. Some visitors become attached to particular places within the gardens: a favourite bench, a hidden pathway, a quiet grove of bamboo, or a tree they have visited for decades. Garden staff often speak about maintaining the space as a balance between preservation and change, caring for historic landscapes while adapting to modern environmental challenges. The gardens are filled with small hidden spaces many visitors never notice. Secluded benches behind bamboo groves, narrow winding paths, quiet ponds, and shaded corners where city sounds disappear completely. The gardens change character with the seasons. Golden leaves in autumn, flowering roses in spring, dry eucalyptus scents in summer, and misty pathways after winter rain. After rain, the gardens develop a distinct atmosphere. Wet gravel pathways, the smell of eucalyptus and damp earth, droplets falling from giant leaves, and reflections shimmering across ponds. The palm house is one of the garden's most recognisable treasures. This elegant glasshouse was imported from Germany in the 1870s and carefully assembled piece by piece in Adelaide. Inside the palm house, filtered light and humid air create an atmosphere completely different from the dry South Australian climate outside. The gardens became especially important during difficult periods in Adelaide's history, places where people gathered for quiet reflection during wars, economic hardship, and times of uncertainty. For university students nearby, the gardens have long served as a place to escape lectures, study under trees, or simply wander without purpose between classes. The gardens have survived droughts, storms, changing city development, and water restrictions, adapting constantly while preserving their historic character. Photographers often describe the gardens as one of the few places in Adelaide where the city can disappear completely behind greenery and reflections. For many locals returning after years away, the Botanic Garden feels strangely unchanged. The same winding paths, the same shade trees, the same stillness waiting quietly behind the city noise. Winding quietly through the heart of Adelaide, the River Torrens has long acted as the city's breathing space. Known to the corner people as Karawira Parry, meaning River of the Red Gum Forest, the river was an important meeting place and source of life long before European settlement. Early European settlers viewed the river very differently from today. In the colony's first decades, the Torrens was unpredictable, sometimes reduced to shallow pools, other times flooding surrounding land after heavy rains. During the 19th century, parts of the river were far less picturesque than modern visitors might imagine, occasionally becoming muddy, polluted, or overgrown during drought periods. The construction of weirs transformed sections of the river into the calmer, lake-like waterway Adelaide residents recognise today. The Torrens footpaths reveal the city at every pace. Early morning joggers, lunchtime office workers, rowing crews slicing through the water, couples wandering slowly at sunset, and cyclists weaving quietly between them all. During winter mornings, mist sometimes hangs low across the river while rowers emerge silently through the fog beneath the city skyline. The riverbank changes personality throughout the day, calm and reflective at sunrise, energetic by afternoon, and softly atmospheric at night when city lights shimmer across the water. Walking along the Torrens today, it's easy to forget you are in the centre of a capital city. Office towers rise in the distance, but much of the riverbank feels quiet, shaded, and surprisingly removed from urban noise. Some of the city's most personal moments happen beside the Torrens. Graduation photos, wedding portraits, quiet lunch breaks, family picnics, and solitary evening walks after difficult days. The river has a reputation for slowing people down. Even busy commuters crossing its bridges often pause briefly to look across the water before continuing into the city. Gliding slowly along the River Torrens since the 1930s, the Popeye boats became one of Adelaide's gentlest traditions. They are less about transport and more about slowing down long enough to watch the city drift by. Generations of Adelaide children remember school excursions aboard the Popeye, leaning over the railings to feed ducks while the captain narrated stories about the riverbanks and city landmarks. Many locals who return to Adelaide after years away are surprised to find the Popeye still operating, almost unchanged, quietly continuing while the city around it evolves. Stretching across the River Torrens at the heart of the city, the King William Street Bridge has long acted as one of Adelaide's great transition points, where the calm of the riverbanks gives way to the movement and noise of the CBD. Standing on the bridge at night offers one of Adelaide's classic city views. The glow of Adelaide Oval to the west, the river below, and the skyline rising quietly beyond the trees. Elder Park beside the river became one of Adelaide's great gathering places, hosting concerts, festivals, fireworks, and public celebrations for generations. The rotunda at Elder Park became one of Adelaide's most recognisable riverside landmarks, hosting brass bands, public performances, and community events for generations. On warm evenings, the smell of freshly cut grass, river water, and food drifting from nearby festivals becomes part of the unmistakable atmosphere of the Torrens precinct. During the height of the Adelaide Fringe, Elder Park transforms completely. Ferris wheels glowing across the river, music echoing through the trees, crowds spilling onto the lawns, and reflections dancing on the water late into the night. In the evening, the Torrens changes personality entirely. Office workers unwind on the lawns, cyclists glide past under fading light, and reflections from nearby buildings shimmer across the water. railway station opened in 1928, it was seen as a bold statement about the city's future. The station's Art Deco architecture gave it a sense of sophistication unusual for railway buildings in Australia at the time. The station's large central clock became one of Adelaide's classic meeting points, much like the balls in Rundle Mall. And so, after all these years, Adelaide still feels familiar. The trams still rattle through the city, the river still drifts quietly beneath the bridges, and the old arcades still glow softly in the afternoon light. Some places change completely with time. Others simply grow older alongside you. Coming back here isn't just about revisiting streets or landmarks. It's about reconnecting with memories, with moments, and with the version of yourself that once called this city home. And somehow, no matter how far away life takes you, Adelaide always seems to welcome you back quietly, like you never really left at all.